Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. This is going to be a really sort of impromptu meeting. It's not going to be that formal. Now, Abby, is spending some time today at Labimbi, Bell Books, Amenten. So, that's what you need to know about her and what she is up to today. So, she'll be sort of coming back and forth from this my Amenten to Labimbi Bell Books Amenten. Okay? Here's what I want to say. This is how my day went. You ready? My day was awful. It wasn't much of a day. I was totally dysfunctional throughout all of my classes because I go to DMAC and I go to college, which is, DMAC's community college in Indianola. Or in Des Moines, rather. And I couldn't function properly in my classes. I was exhausted. I was out of it. Stomach feels bloated. Feels crampy. Ugh. It's not been a fun day. It's not been a productive day either for me. And so, that was my day. The one thing I'll say about my intro to lit teacher that I had last semester, the one who, for those who were at my Amenten last year, the one who came to my Amenten, who taught the lit class, she, I'm gonna sit down. I can't stand up. I can't stand up. I have to sit down. So, people watching, you're gonna have to hear me because I'm, yeah. It's not healthy to bend over for yourself. But probably gonna say some things in this meeting that I don't necessarily believe in or agree with. So just know that. Hold on a moment. I have to get some of this stuff on my hand here. Okay. one of my pet peeves. That's one of my pet peeves. Here's what I want you to know. I do not do things or say things if they're not true to me. Do you think that I would be sitting here doing this if I didn't want to? Do you honestly think that? I'm not going to do that. I guess you're just going to have to miss what I have to say. Because I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to talk any louder than I want to talk. This is something that I call, this is something called the mixed message complex. Okay, you're telling me that I should stop and rest because I'm feeling in a bad way. That, because my stomach is crampy, I shouldn't be doing this. But then the person up there told me to speak louder. And I don't want to speak louder than how I want to speak. So one person's telling me to take care of myself, and another person's telling me to speak louder. How do you choose between one person and then the other? Well, there's an old saying, and it's called the middle way, and this is what I'm doing right here. I'm doing the middle way. This is the middle way. I am attending to this Amenten and being, engaging with this Amenten, but I'm not going to do it if I don't feel like doing it, and if, I'm not going to do that. I am just mentally exhausted, and I can't sit down and analyze an article and determine how the author is arguing ethos, pathos, logos. I mean, I will tell you, actually going back to my teacher, what I was talking about before, my intro to lit teacher, that came to my Amenten. Her name was Betty McGarry. I think before the decision to enroll in a class, I probably need to look into the content of that class, and I also need to look to the astrological cycles of what's going to be going on for that semester. If I had done my research, I would learn about Mars is retrograde in Gemini, and I'm going to be overwhelmed, and I'm going to be stressed, and I'm going to be feeling really pressured and impulsive, and like I have so many things going on, and it's so overwhelming in my mind, and then it's going to, I'm going to do something impulsive, and I'm going to be stressed, and all those kind of things. Squaring Neptune, I'm going to have so much junk and so much guilt of being caught in victimhood, not wanting to be here, not wanting to get down to reality, get logical, get practical, and focus on what I need to do, and, be attentive, and be, present, go through it in a really detail-oriented, focused, stable, steady, grounded kind of way. Because last fall, Mars was retrograde in Gemini, squaring Neptune in Pisces. And so that's not easy energy. And so if I learned about all of those things, and if I learned about, and if I'm looking at, okay, a class where I have to get focused and put my nose to the grindstone and analyze this text, try to answer these really hot, higher order thinking questions, and try to, do this, and try to, with my interpretation, and, why am I interpreting it this way, and all those kinds of things like that, then, what I was doing with that, and then the astrological cycles that were happening, those two things didn't go together and didn't mix. I'm pushing myself right now. I shouldn't push myself. Okay, so those two things didn't mix. What I was doing for the intro to lit class, and then the astrological cycles that were happening, those two things didn't mix. They didn't go well. I was stressed, overwhelmed. It wasn't fun. It was just hard work that I had to get through. And I am just filled with junk on a mental and emotional level. But somehow that mental junk is totally arbitrary to your life. The fact of the matter is, nothing matters more than the priorities that you have to do in your life. And despite how insecure I was feeling, the issues with my checking my rear end and being insecure about how clean it is, being insecure about, my hands hurting, my hands being really dry, being insecure, feeling inabundant with YouTube videos, social media, posts online, lack of interest in astrology, and so many different things, and insecurity about my computer, all those things made it very difficult to be in an abundant mindset where I could focus and I could get the work done that I needed to, and I could enjoy and really put my heart in what I was doing, and get motivated to and enjoy and get meaning and value and fulfillment, and and have a sense of interest and curiosity for what I was doing for that class. And the actuality is 95% of the time it was just work. It wasn't that fun. And while it's not supposed to be fun, learning isn't supposed to be, not fun. It should be a fun process, and the work sort of, goes along with learning, in a way. So, yeah, you can't separate the learning from the hard work, because there's a lot of hard work involved with learning. And it doesn't have to be just life lessons. It can also be just stuff in general, and, various things that you do in your life that are fun, and they're, exciting, and you can, make opportunities from them. Okay, you can become really curious, but at the same time it involves a lot of hard work. And I think that you have to have your heart and your mind in a certain mode, in an abundant, grounded mindset that is willing to be patient, be persistent, and be grounded and go through the process in order to do the work for that class. And you absolutely have to breathe and take breaks. That's, you just had to do that with that kind of work. If I had the attitude for 1 second about, I just want to get this done, I will work, I will get this done and push through it. When you are in a literature class with Betty McGarry as your instructor, you had better let go of that attitude. in your mind. Because if you have that attitude in your mind, you will not enjoy the class. You will not enjoy doing the assignments. And that is an absolute and certain guarantee. Because think of how much junk that we all have in our minds, and there's probably a bunch of people having way more junk than I have. And, taking that class, taking those literature classes that have way more junk in their lives, mentally and emotionally and spiritually even, than I had. When it comes to feelings of abundance, feeling that I've savored, spoiled, abused, binge watched, exhausted, ruined, and gone through the motions of videos, social media posts, books, or a bunch of, feelings of, lack of feeling content, lack of purity, I want to say, about, not finishing a bunch of stuff, or, overwatching, or, reading too much, watching too many videos at one time, all those kinds of things like that. It's not the type of work where you can just, get motivated, push through it and expect it's going to be a quick, breezy, speedy, smooth process where you, the sort of, feel of, doing the work and getting it done for the purpose of getting it done and completing it. It's not that kind of work. It involves slowing down and getting grounded and, even, being willing and having the mindset where, okay, I am going to have to sacrifice time with this activity. I'm going to have to create a mental attitude that I don't want to do something because I have this assignment that I have to do for this class. I have to put aside time watching a video, put aside time with family, put aside time with all these kinds of things that I want to do that would be easier and more fun and more rewarding to do in order to get this assignment done. And I have to be absolutely disciplined and absolutely committed. And I cannot get off task unless I absolutely can't function. I need to break and come back and focus and be totally disciplined, committed, and determined to get this work done. Even if it means that one day you have all this work to do and you're stressed out and you're frantic, you have to find a way of sacrificing the time watching a video, sacrificing the time, with your family, sacrificing your evening, sacrificing your time to do what you want to do for doing these kinds of assignments that do involve time and do involve energy and do involve your mental energy and your mental capacity to slow down and be focused and be on the ball and for you to stay the course until you complete this assignment. With the teacher that I have now, I think that he just, oh my gosh, I could go to sleep. I could zone out. I could tune out. I could rest my head. I could care less. The first phase of my relationship with Jessup Bonstetter was this person's draining based off of his personality and his voice. But then now I'm so used to it now. It's like, in my experience, oh my gosh. You know, I hope that I won't have to go through that same excruciating pain that I had to go through. That one night at the hospital. Oh my gosh. I don't have any appetite right now, and I'm just, yeah. So, so one thing I'm gonna say is to be real with what you feel and to feel it, to not fake it. And I am definitely not fake. Definitely not fake. Definitely real. And it is 1,000% healthier for you to be real and authentic. And to feel what you feel and do what you need to do for yourself. To rest your eyes if you're exhausted in a class, even if the teacher's giving out super important information that you need to hear. You're not in a mental and emotional capacity to listen and take that information in. So the teacher is lecturing, just zone out, just tune out, just rest your eyes. Do what you need to do. Do not bend over backwards for other people when it isn't right for you, when you are feeling in pain, you're tired, you can't push yourself, you can't focus, all these kinds of things like that. So my teacher that I have now just, I can just hear the throat drainage. And I could just, I don't know. There's not too much enthusiasm and with how he teaches and whatnot. I don't know. Just feel that motivated for certain stuff. I'm not motivated to do any work today. And I can almost barely function to do this. Okay. I'm not finished. I think after dinner, at about 7, I think we're all going to come in here and I want to finish telling you what I want to tell you. So at 7 o'clock, all of you are going to be in here. People are going to be watching from there. People are going to be in here. Okay? Do what you've always done. I do not want to have to sit through and explaining to people how it's done. Because that's not my job. It is not my job. And here's the reason why. My stomach. I am in pain right now. My stomach is cramping. That is Susan London's job to give those details. So I'm going to stop here and we're going to come back at 7. Okay. Bye everybody. Have a good day. A good dinner.